Another little secret about me is once upon a time I was a nightclub DJ. So I am really, really excited for our next talk from Amani. 10 ways a DJ set is like growing a business. And he's throwing business in. It's like he's just trying to get me to love his talk in every way. Here we go.
All right. I'm going to set the scene for you. It's 10:01. We're here in Orlando. We're at Eve Nightclub, and I'm going to talk to you about 10 ways a DJ set is like growing a business. First up, we have to figure out what's the first song you're going to drop. Is it going to be, for me, I Love Music by the OJs. Maybe it's going to be SOV, I'm So Into You. But you have to introduce yourself. My name is Amani Roberts. I'm a DJ, music producer. I'm a college professor at Cal State Fulton, and a podcaster. One of my favorite brand launches, because when DJs introduce yourself, it's just like you're launching a brand. One of my favorite product launches is Air Jordans. September 15th, 1985. They launched that brand, and now it's like a national holiday for people who are sneakerheads. That's an example of like a successful product launch. That's part one. Next, we're gonna get to 10:15, beta testing. We all know what beta testing is in business, but as a DJ, when you're beta testing, it's like, do you play the new Lizzo song? Do you drop the new Drake song? Or maybe I can go old school with some Mariah Carey. I love Mariah. You figure that out, whatever direction works, the crowd likes, you go that way. Next step is branding. I have a favorite example of branding. I have a DJ friend, she's a dentist, but her DJ name is DJ Flossie. That's a great name of branding. I love wearing bow ties when I'm at corporate events and cool t-shirts like this one I have on. That's part of my brand. We all know, love it or hate it, Apple. That's a great example of a business who does a really good job with branding. So branding is important. Next up, we get to like 11 o'clock at night. Something always goes wrong in the DJ booth. I tell you, either a speaker goes out, your needles are too dusty, your computer crashes, but the rule is you can never let the music stop. So what are you gonna do to troubleshoot and fix that? Same thing in business. Something goes wrong with the business, you can't stop. You have to keep going, figure out how it works, and keep going because that's what you have to do. Next up, taking risks. On the DJ floor, do I switch the genre from hip hop to salsa, rock? Take a risk. Hulu took a risk by doing Handmaid's Tale, it worked out. Remember back in the day when Coca-Cola took a risk with New Coke, that didn't work out. Next up, feedback. I love this photo. DJs get overwhelmed with requests. So you have to determine what kind of requests, what kind of feedback do you take, because requests is kind of like feedback. Quick story. I was DJing at a club downtown LA. I had dropped in Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G., and a young lady comes up to me, she says, I think you should play Killing Me Softly by the Fugees. I said, I'll think about it. But the more I thought about it, I said, you know what, she could be right. So what I did is I quickly switched it up, dropped it in. We got to the acapella version, or acapella part of the song at the end, and the whole crowd was singing along. Gave me goosebumps. That was an example when feedback worked out. Sometimes it works out in business, sometimes it doesn't work out. But you have to take feedback and determine whether or not to use it or discard it. We get to prime time. Prime time for a DJ as you're playing hit after hit after hit. This summer, Old Town Road is a big song, you gotta play that. But you're playing hit after hit, you keep the dance floor packed, you keep people singing along. Business example of prime time, one of my favorite business examples is Sarah Blakely with Spanx. She went from making a pitch to a salesperson at Nordstrom's in the bathroom to becoming worth more than $1 billion. She grew her business, and now it's like she's growing year over year, hit after hit. That's the business example of like prime time. Finally, we get to 1 o'clock. You're almost done if the set's over at 2, but you gotta avoid the distractions. You gotta land the plane safely. And so what this means is you can't get distracted by pretty people or distractions in the club. Same thing in business. Like you could be distracted by like new features for your product, new services, but you gotta stay focused, stay in your lane, because that's how you're gonna grow and stay relevant for a long period of time. We get to 1:30. One of the favorite times of my sets, I'm an old soul, I love to play slow jams. And so you spark up nostalgia. Businesses use nostalgia to recreate and keep their business relevant. Two of my favorite examples are Nintendo. They just recently relaunched the old one, and that sparked new business. And then Adidas, the Stan Smith shoes that are classics, like I have on, and Gazelles. That's a good example of nostalgia. For me, I love to play Usher and Alicia Keys' My Boo. People know that song, they sing along, but you can drop any Whitney Houston song in and people know the words and they get so happy. That's a good way of sparking up nostalgia and taking it home. Finally, we get to the end of the set, and you have to take care of yourself. The young lady on the left, you know her from This Is Us, that's Mandy Moore. That's her old boyfriend, DJ Am. And unfortunately, he didn't take care of himself, so he passed away in 2009 from a drug overdose. And the point is that, like my friend Julie Hotter says, this doesn't work if you don't work. or health is wealth. So you have to take care of yourself. Keep your cup full, because in business and in DJ life, if you're not doing well, if you're not feeling well, your business won't thrive. And you need to keep going, take care of yourself, surround yourself with good people. So my name is Amani Roberts. My podcast is called the Amani Experience Podcast. That's where I interview creative people, or people who used to work in the corporate space but now do something more creative. You can follow me on all the socials at Amani Experience. Thank you very much for taking this ride.